Welcome. Good people, my name is Corey Winchester, and I stand to you today with the message that I call Jealousy Will Get You Nowhere. It's a message from my ancestors. So I actually want to start with what I looked like when I was your age, back in high school. When I was 18, I wanted a tattoo, but I couldn't really decide what tattoo I wanted to get. And it took me 13 years to finally decide what tattoo I was going to settle on. It's actually right here. I'm going to tell the story of it, and it has a lot to do with my ancestors. But before I actually talk about my ancestors and the folks that got me here, I want to talk about and acknowledge the fact that there are folks that made it so that we can actually sit here in this room today. And I want to talk about our indigenous ancestors, those whose land we sit on that's stolen ground. The Potawatomi, the Sioux, the Miami, the Kickapoo, all of those ancestors are here, okay? And my ancestors are here giving me the energy that I need today to actually share my story. I'm a history teacher, so sharing stories is something that I do quite often. And this is a story about me and my best friend. That's my mom. She always used to say growing up, jealousy will get you nowhere. And I had to think a lot about what that really, really meant. And all the times where she shared that message with me, I was like, well, why? Why are you telling me this? I don't really think of myself as a jealous person. But I really thought about what she was trying to impart. That inspiration or that message that she shared with me as a young child growing up into my adulthood is something that I actually carried with me. But the story of my tattoo has a lot to do with some other folks. My youngest brother, who's 18 and is a senior in high school, actually got his first tattoo before I did. I was like, how? So I want to talk a little bit about his journey, how his tattoo is connected to mine and our ancestors, my family. But it's really something to think about how I felt when my brother got a tattoo, and I'll show you what it looks like in a moment. Here's the two of us in Chicago. Now, mind you, we're not from the area. I grew up in Philly, and this is when he was in 7th grade and he came out to visit. And I thought about the moments that we had together and the care that I had for my youngest brother. He's one of 2 younger brothers that I have. And when he got a tattoo that actually was the size of his whole arm, I said, man, is he going to be able to get a job? Like, what are some of the hurdles that he's going to have to deal with? Our blackness is inherently tied to how we show up. And I didn't want him to have to navigate any type of negativity, any racism, simply because he had a tattoo on his arm. Now, little did I know that his tattoo that he got when he was 18 was paying homage to our granny. This is my granny. Her name is Esther Winchester. She's one of my many ancestors. In this photo that you see, I was 4 years old, like really rocking that outfit in them plaid pants and those purple socks and them white sandals, trying to match my mama's sleeves. I don't know what she had me in that day. But she's someone that was an inspiration to me. She's someone that was an inspiration to my family. She was glue. She's one of my ancestors. And she passed away in 2004. And thinking about how to carry that legacy is something that actually inspired my brother. So my mom texted me this photo. And I was like, why are you texting this to me? She's like, look at it. I'm like, well, this is cool. I didn't know whose arm it was on. But I was like, this is a big-ass tattoo, right? Oh, my goodness. Looking at it, I said, who did that? This is a lot. Like, I'm worried that this person is going to have to cover it up. Little did I know that this tattoo was on my youngest brother. He turned 18 in September last year, and he got that tattoo about a month and a half later. He didn't tell me about it. He didn't tell my mom about it. And I'm learning through his little Snapchat story. I don't got a Snapchat. I'm learning through his Snapchat that this is what he got. And when I started looking closer, I was like, well, who would get a tattoo that said Esther? Because I didn't know that this tattoo was on my youngest brother's arm. Now, if we go back and think about history, right? My brother was born in 2001. right around September 11th. And my granny passed away in 2004 of breast cancer. And there were not a lot of moments that he had with her. So I was wondering, what was this connection? When I actually had a moment to talk to him, he said, I wanted to get a tattoo to honor Granny, right? And the pain that I experienced when I got this full sleeve just pales in comparison to the things that she did for our family. And that almost got me in tears. It's like, Jason, you barely knew her. I was the first grandchild, and I spent 16 years with her. And it was such a traumatic experience when she passed away. So I always thought about how I can continue to uphold her legacy, to uphold her story. So fast forward. My brother comes to Chicago in November. That was part of his, Christmas and birthday gift. I said, you can come and spend some time with me, your older brother. And I also wanted to take him to see Hamilton, right? Anyone see it in here? Yeah, all right. That's going to come back in a little bit, so be ready for it. But I finally decided to go and to get a tattoo. And the tattoo says, jealousy will get you nowhere again. And the connection that this has to my mom is that a couple weeks before I decided that this was the tattoo I was going to get, I said, Mom, can you do me a favor? Can you just write down in your handwriting, jealousy will get you nowhere, and send a photo of it to me? And she was like, sure, not knowing what it was for. So we go to the parlor. I have the image. I have my mom's handwriting because I wanted to do something that really honored all of the things and the sacrifices she made for me, for my brothers, for my family. And I did that. I have a really great relationship with her. So I got the tattoo. My 18-year-old brother is sitting in the chair next to me, like looking at his bigger brother get a tattoo. Meanwhile, he has his big first tattoo, and I'm like channeling his energy, right? And at the end of me getting my tattoo, I said, hey, Jason, do you want to get one too? And he's like, yeah. So we actually got the same thing. So when I think about these shared stories that we have, when I think about what my mom said to me, and these are actually quotes that I have in my classroom, I don't know if you noticed, but there is one there that says, jealousy will get you nowhere. It's something that I've carried. It's something that I feel like is a mantra from someone who I respect as an elder that we need to be sharing, that we need to generate, right? We carry our ancestors with us. We carry those who have fed us, not literally, but sometimes literally, energy. And for me, that was my mother. And that's something that I share with my students. Don't be jealous. It's not going to get you anywhere. And ultimately, that's what she was sharing with me. So as I think about those who have come before us, those who are feeding us currently, and those who are going to come after us, what messages do we have to carry? If you look in the middle, you'll see my mom sitting in my classroom one day. This was during the break, so, don't think I wasn't teaching or doing my job. But we actually shared things together in common. I saw Hamilton with my mom. I saw Hamilton 5 times. I saw Hamilton with my mom. I saw Hamilton with my brother because I really liked the message. And then the last number, one of the big things that they say in Hamilton, who lives, who dies, who tells your story. And I think about the ancestors, my ancestors, who are helping me to tell my story today. I'm really humbled to be here, to be able to share a part of my story, and just share some words that have been fed. Now, my mom, her best friend, is my granny. And I actually had no idea that once I got this tattoo and shared, yeah, Mom, I got this because you said that. She told me, well, you know who used to tell me that? She said, your granny. I was like, oh, wow. So not only does my brother have this connection to my granny on his arm, and I have connection to my mom, but when we have this shared connection to our ancestor, and there are many more ancestors beyond just my granny who, I can talk about and really share how they've influenced and made me who I am today. But that becomes this mantra becomes a really crucial part of who we are. So I have a couple of lessons And if we look, I know it's kind of hard to see. My brother Jason got that right on his little bicep. And it's this moment that we have that we'll be able to share. That's on us forever as we continue to carry our ancestors and think about who we are. But this taught me 3 lessons. And I want to share these 3 lessons with you as I reflect on who I am. The first one, literally, jealousy will get you nowhere. Don't be a jealous person. If there's something that you want, if there's something that you want to achieve, being jealous of what other people have won't get you there. You have to take agency. You have to take responsibility. You have to take ownership and go do this for yourselves. Second thing I want to share is that your family, either chosen or otherwise, is your lifeblood. And they'll always carry you forward. The person that you see on the left, that's my great-grandma. Her name, I want to uplift, Margaret Stewart. It's my granny's mom. Esther Winchester, my mom, Angela Winchester, and me, Corey Winchester. We got 4 generations right here. This is the energy that I carry. Had it not been for them and the sacrifices that they made, I wouldn't be here. And that's the message that I want you to also think about. Who are your ancestors? Whose legacies are you carrying with you? Spoken and unspoken. And what responsibility do you have to share those, to hold those, to remember those, to find out more of who you are? The last thing that I want to talk about, these are folks who are a part of my village, okay? You have a responsibility to carry this collective story. And all the folks that have been supporting me over the years have been helping me to develop mine. Who's going to be a part of your world? Thank you.